Straddling the equator, the islands of Sao Tome and Principe form a volcanic archipelago known as the islands in the middle of the world. Situated off the coast of Gabon and isolated from the rest of the world, this is one of Africa's smallest countries. The population is a mix of the descendants of slaves and the original Portuguese colonists. In these unspoiled islands where nature is so generous, the inhabitants of Sao Tome and Principe enjoy a paradise of jungle, mountain, and ocean.
On land, we can't really see all this beauty. Out at sea, it's so beautiful. You have to be at sea. That's where you can see the reality of Sao Tome. That's why I love the sea. The sea is my lifeblood. The sea means everything to me. Maybe I was sort of half dolphin, half turtle in a past life. Now, I've reincarnated as a man, whereas I used to be a turtle.
Marcio has always felt this very close bond with the sea. So naturally, he has become the guardian of this vital, living element.
You can't see a thing. There's not even a single bird around that could help us out with the sign.
Marcio is heading out to meet some very special friends off the north coast of Sao Tome.
Look, there they are. You see how many there are?
He works for Marapa, one of Sao Tome's first environmental protection NGOs. Thanks to this organization, Marcio has been able to live out his dream of protecting his unspoiled island and the wildlife that lives there.
It's the only species of dolphin of Sao Tome. We see them almost every time we go out. Sometimes there's a school of 100, 150 dolphins, maybe 200, up to 300 dolphins. It's quite a large group. They're always jumping and frolicking to show off for us. They're happy. I think they're following a school of fish, in fact, because they're moving at a constant speed. But we didn't expect to see so many today. It's just awesome.
Marcio's photographs will be helpful in studying the dolphin population of Sao Tome. Every day, the natural beauty of Sao Tome is an enchantment for Marcio and confirms him in his mission. Rounding a cape, he meets up with Joanna and her crew. They all work for the same organization for the protection of the archipelago.
We found this girl floating on the surface.
Do you think she'll make it? Looks like she's been this way for a long time.
I've seen turtles that have survived with only 2 flippers, but this one...
It was a shark.
Here's what we're going to do. We'll bring her to the roller center. They have a pool there.
Okay, let's go. Look, it was definitely a shark.
The most common predators are the humans on land. This is rare out at sea. It's the first time I've ever seen a case like this one. A turtle attacked by a shark.
This is natural predators. You can see the bite marks here of the shark.
Sometimes you see female turtles up on the beach missing a front or hind flipper. And even so, they manage to lay their eggs. Sometimes we'll help them dig their nest, get their bearings. But with a nasty wound like this...
If it's just one flipper, okay, they manage to survive. But when it's as bad as this, she won't be able to feed herself.
Márcio, tá-se bem, vamos lá embaixo. Ok, a gente vê-se por aí. Tá. Força aí. Ok. Para vocês. Tá, para vocês também.
Right by the beaches where the turtles have been coming to nest for centuries is Porto Alegre, the main village of the island's south coast. The people of Sao Tome have always considered the ocean as an inexhaustible food supply. But times have changed, and Marcio is working to change this attitude.
Yeah, 76.
It's a size 26. This net has a large enough mesh. You're on your way to drop your nets now?
Aqui nessa vila, nós temos várias intervenções.
We do a lot here in the village.
Intervimos com os pescadores.
We deal directly with the fishermen.
Então, tocar sensibilizá-los para impedir.
My job is to make them aware so that they stop considering turtles as fair game.
A tartaruga como objetivo de pesca. Quando vão para pesca, tem que ser objetivo.
When they go out fishing, they should be going for fish. Then if they need help, we'll give it to them. We'll fix the motors. We have qualified personnel for that. We'll step in to solve problems and to help them develop their business. What do you do if you happen to catch a turtle? Accidentally, I mean.
If it's dead, some people will take it home.
Everyone's pretty cool about that here.
Don't you ever happen to catch a turtle when you drop your nets?
Yeah, it happens. But we're not allowed to bring it back to shore, though.
Marcio makes an effort to understand each person's problems, and he never preaches or lectures. He knows very well that it's the only way to get people to change.
Preservar a vida natural.
I think preserving wildlife on land and sea is crucial.
É importante porque
Because when you have people destroying, you need others creating.
outros têm que criar. Então, se vamos abatendo, todo mundo.
If we destroy everything, the coming generations will have nothing left to see, nothing to tell, nothing to research.
Nada para contar, nada para investigar, nada para estudar. Então, preservando.
By protecting nature, we're saving lives that could eventually be studied in the future. As for me, I look on preservation as life, saving lives.
Salvar vidas.
Fernando is the island's uncontested master at building the traditional pirogues.
We have a tradition that you have to cut the tree according to the lunar cycle. When the moon is full, there's a parasite that attacks the wood, which reduces its lifespan. The best time to cut the tree is when the moon is in a transitory phase. Then the pirogue will last longer.
They use wood from the kapok tree to construct pirogues. It takes 20 years for the tree to reach maturity and its full, imposing height. The fishermen also know this light, tender wood under the name of pirogue tree.
From here to here, we'll make one pirogue. And from here to here, we'll make another. Out at sea, this type of wood won't sink if the pirogue capsizes. It doesn't go straight to the bottom if it turns over. So the fishermen can hold on to it while waiting for help. That's why this is the preferred wood for making pirogues here in Sao Tome.
Due to the extreme lack of resources on these islands, everything has to be done by muscle power, and individual projects are carried out through a collective effort. A new pirogue will be able to feed several families. Marcio also has to face paradoxical situations when he pitches in on activities that go against his convictions. But he never compromises what he believes in: the preservation of this fragile ecosystem, even if it means clashing with ancestral traditions.
We at the Marapa NGO want the fishermen to give up their practice of chopping down trees because it's detrimental to nature. Now, we favor fiberglass or marine plywood boats. The tradition continues. It's been handed down from the past and will be hard to give it up. But we keep trying. It won't happen in one day or in 1 year. It's a long-term project.
Every night from September to April, dozens of sea turtles crawl up onto the beaches of the island's south coast. All during this period, Marcio organizes and takes part in nightly turtle patrols. The turtles are very vulnerable, and dogs, birds, and crabs prey on their eggs. But the #1 predator is man, who sees the turtles as an easy source of meat. With the backing of the authorities, who recently passed a protection law, Marcio and his organization are fighting these age-old customs. The situation is critical, for sea turtles are now in danger of extinction. An incubator for turtle eggs, set up here in the village of Moro Peixe. This is the solution they've come up with to give the baby turtles a fighting chance at life. The eggs collected from the nests are buried in this pen, where they'll be safe for the 2-month incubation period. Hipólito, widely known as Papa Turtle, is heading this project. His father was a notorious turtle hunter.
Honestly, don't know how many baby turtles I've released. I know it's been many, many, many babies. It's something I really enjoy doing. Something I've learned, and perhaps someday I'll exceed the number of turtles my father captured. He captured a lot, and now I've been doing this work for close to 20 years, and I think I've made up for the massacre my father carried out. These little turtles were just born today, so they're full of energy, and that helps them reach the sea.
Yeah, they're raring to go.
It's a good time to release the babies. Otherwise, the birds swoop down and pick them off.
I feel like I'm giving life, a life that could create other lives, and that fills me with joy. I'm very happy when I do it. And who knows? With a bit of luck, they may swim off, then come back someday to say, "Hi there, thank you for allowing me to live."
The ocean is not the only riches of Sao Tome. 90% of this fertile volcanic island is covered with jungle. Diamantino is a farmer, and like most of the islanders, he has a patch of land for his own use in the middle of the forest. There he harvests the bean that is the symbol and pride of his country, cocoa.
This is a very special place for me. It's my own little plot, and I work here during the day. Right now, there's not much cocoa because it's the flowering season. But you still have to work the land. It's the only way it will produce the next crop. If you don't do the work now, you won't get anything. You have to keep the land clear of brush.
Diamantino works hard on his plantation. Even if cocoa doesn't bring in very much money, it's enough for him to live a simple, happy life.
This is top quality cocoa. Sao Tome cocoa is the best in the world. It's good quality. It's a luxury cocoa because it's totally natural. There's no chemicals.
Once a week, Diamantino comes to Agua Ize, the country's oldest plantation, to sell his cocoa. Cocoa is inextricably linked to the history of these islands. It was introduced in 1820, and by the beginning of the 20th century, Sao Tome and Principe had even become the world's leading producer of cocoa. They were known as the Chocolate Islands.
We don't make any chocolate here. The cocoa is exported, and they send us back chocolate bars. But it's poor quality. Before, when I was younger, we had authentic, pure chocolate. Now, we have something that's a poor imitation of chocolate. It's edible, but like they say, if you don't have a dog, hunt with cats.
The golden age of chocolate is part of the country's past. Now, the local production is quite marginal compared to the world market, but it still makes up the lion's share of the revenue for this little bit of Africa.
I'm a lead singer of a Bulawae group. My band is called Don't Worry. When there's a concert coming up and the stage fright is there, I feel good. I'm more at ease, I'm more cool, I'm happy. I feel like I've got some more class. It's just how it is.
Bulawae is the sound of Sao Tome. Diamantino and his group are all great at improvisation when it comes to setting up a concert.
We've got everything pretty well organized, except for a few details we have to take care of. But I think we'll be starting soon. Everyone's ready. When you hear this music, you just have to get up and dance. You feel the vibes, and you have to move. You have to get up out of your seat and just dance to show how much you like the music.
Diamantino became a musician in order to get people together and share a good time. His music gives voice to his country's soul.
One last number? Okay, guys, be careful there. Don't get hurt. We're coming up to the falls. Okay, I'm going to carry you up there, and then I'm going to put you down, all right?
His plantation and his music keep him busy, but he always finds time for his 9 children. Diamantino, who's 39, has a sunny outlook on life and confidence in the future.
I'm a very lucky man. The unlucky ones are those God hasn't given any children to. Money can't buy you children. There are a lot of people who are rich, but in fact, they have nothing. What will they leave behind? Just their money? Whereas I'll leave my children, and they will carry on after me. I love my work. I love my plantation, my everyday activities, my wives. I'm very content, very happy. Not everyone can say the same.
Thanks to his Bulawae band, everyone in the neighborhood knows and likes Diamantino. But he's also known for another talent. He is an actor in a traditional Chiloli theater troupe. Ribeira Afonso is 2 hours from the capital. This weekend, there's a celebration in the village, and there'll be a Chiloli performance as part of the festivities. The actors use the school as their dressing room. One of the particularities of this type of theater is that all the roles are played by men.
As for the Chiloli costumes, we may not have any money, but we always manage to come up with something. With a little bit of determination, we manage to get the costumes made. It takes an effort, but we have to do it. Where there's a will, there's a way, and if there's no will, then...
As always, the Chiloli kicks off with a parade to draw an audience. The actors already set up the stage on a street corner 2 hours before. The repertory of Chiloli Theatre contains one single play, The Tragedy of the Marquis of Mantua and the Emperor Charlemagne. Chiloli originated in the medieval chanson de geste, imported from Europe by the colonists. Behind the intrigue of this tragedy appropriated by the slaves, we can read a demand by the people for even-handed justice and a challenge to the established authority. Diamantino plays a leading role in this play that was created nearly 5 centuries ago.
My character in the play has to go to court to free the page from prison and follow the trial through to its conclusion. I'm the lawyer. The one thing I want is to free the page. He came only to report on what he had seen in the forest. My honorable colleague. Man makes the law and the law makes man. If my colleague has to resort to lies, it obviously means that the page is innocent. Eventually, I would like to record an album that would be played all over the world. Everyone would know me. Diamantino, the guy from Sao Tome. I would really be proud to do something like that. But for now, I'm here biding my sweet time. I hope someday God hears my prayers.
Meus irmãos, união e que meus irmãos, união e que é uma chave para crescer nosso país, ganhar confiança e trazer felicidade. Se tivermos reunidos, tudo pode resolver. Meus irmãos, com união, nossa terra mudará.
If I had money, I'd like to leave someday to represent my country abroad. To show that even though this is a small country, it has brave men, capable men, able to sing, to create beauty, to do great things on a world-class level.
Sao Tome and Principe, terra linda, uma terra tão pequena.
The little island of Principe is 140 kilometers north of its big sister, Sao Tome. Principe is a forgotten island, an unspoiled, protected land, caressed by the equatorial sun and the waves of the Atlantic Ocean. Shrouded by steamy banks of mist, the island is imbued with mystery. Maria is Portuguese, but she has adopted Principe as her home. She's doing research in ethnopharmacology for the prestigious University of Coimbra in Portugal. Maria is a specialist in plants and their medicinal uses. The first time she set foot on Principe 20 years ago, she realized that she had landed in the perfect spot for her.
I was just overwhelmed. The green of the forest, the deep orange color of the earth, the sea, the sand, the beaches, the plants, the people, it's all wonderful. It's a real paradise, practically unspoiled, where there's so much to discover. A researcher's dream.
Discovering new treatments to relieve and heal people. This is the goal of Maria's whole life and why she tirelessly hikes through the mountains of these islands. This intrepid, determined woman can't bear the idea that people are still dying of malaria when the solution could be within our grasp in the bark of a tree or in the heart of a tropical flower. Maria has become very close to two traditional healers. Over the years, they've built up a relationship of mutual trust. Today, she's going to meet her friend, San Veronica, in Sao Tome to observe a consultation.
So you say he's constipated?
This morning's patient is a 7-month-old boy who has a serious growth problem. San Veronica and Sum Pontes are traditional healers and use only plants to treat their patients. The recipe of San Veronica's remedy is not written down anywhere, because this store of knowledge has always been handed down orally from master healer to apprentice.
And now you boil it?
Right.
The two women are both plunged into their work. Maria's scientific rigor meshes with San Veronica's empirical process.
So you grated the bark?
You always have to grate the bark.
The remedy is ready. Maria recaps the recipe.
And a bit of water? Can I see how much? There's about a liter.
I added a liter of water.
And then what? These are my masters. San Veronica and Sum Pontes. I've known them for a long time, more than 20 years. They are my masters. Not only do they know so much, but they take such pleasure in teaching me. San Veronica has a lot of grandchildren, but none has learned anything from her yet.
None of them.
It's a shame.
This ancestral knowledge of plants and medicine is gradually dying out with the last healers of the archipelago. In the course of her research, Maria has proven scientifically that certain potions used by these healers obtain results identical to synthetic medications. The traditional medicine offers several advantages. It comes at a reasonable cost, and the plants are easily available.
Does he have to drink all of it? Observing them, I see that they work quite differently from me. Sometimes they'll forget to explain a step to me, because they do it every day. But when I watch them, I know as a pharmacologist that it's very important to strictly follow all the preparatory steps for the medication. And it's also different, because I note down all the details, the process, the quantities, all that makes the difference between a medication that is effective and one that's not. I really do think that a bit of sugar wouldn't be bad, just a little.
To give it some taste.
Because it is really bitter for a child.
Back on the island of Principe, Maria continues her investigations of these precious plants. The unmatched biodiversity here impassions this scientist fascinated by the secrets of medicinal plants.
So now we're going to climb Papagaio Peak. We're going to look for 2 endemic species that live only on the summit. What drives me is discovering a new plant. A discovery that could be my contribution to science and humanity. Who knows? Here it is, here it is. This is fantastic. This species is endemic to Principe, and you only find it in this milieu. Here it's a very humid microclimate. This is what we came for. This specimen will be for the herbarium. We'll pick 2 of them, one for the university and the other for Sao Tome.
Maria's work on tropical plants has become a reference in the field. She is one of the few scientists who are respected as much for their academic work as for the quality of their collecting in the field.
Usually, a pharmacologist like me works mostly in the lab. I'm lucky enough to do both. I think that I get even more pleasure from my work because I know how difficult it is to find the specimens and record the lore of the traditional healers and local guides. This information will give a direction to the laboratory work and facilitate our research.
In her crusade for science, Maria has found an ally, the children. Her knowledge may progress with each work session with the masters. However, the research has no sense for her if it's not passed on and shared with the islanders themselves. Maria has produced some short animated films with Principe school children, a playful way to make them aware of their country's riches.
This project about traditional medicine is called Soya Kuto, which in Creole means short stories. And that's what we're going to do, teach the children that we have to preserve the forest, which is a natural pharmacopoeia. The second important message is to make them all want to learn the secrets of traditional medicine from their elders, so that someday they may pass this powerful message on to their children. And if the forest dies, what will we lose? So much. The medicine, the wood, the fuel. We have to preserve the forest. Do you understand? So, children, like I said, I need lots of researchers to help me. Who wants to be a researcher? Okay, let's go and study nature. And do you know the name of this in Sao Tome and Principe? You don't know? Fiadola. Do you know what that means?
Ear leaf.
An ear leaf because it looks like an ear. And do you know what it's good for?
Earaches and sore throat.
Yes, well done. Come on, let's go and see other plants. After, this flower becomes a fruit with a little black seed inside. Have you ever seen it? The seed is something like an antibiotic. Now look. Pay attention. Here we have the fruit I was just talking about. What can it be used for? Shimonkoya. Rheumatism, yes. We use the fruit, not the leaves. Shall we go on? I think that when you give a class like this, right out in the field, the students are more apt to assimilate the material than in a theoretical presentation. So I really love doing it, because we're planting seeds for the future. When they grow up, they'll remember this information that the traditional healers and I transmitted to them. I hope the seeds take.
For 6 months of the year, Maria finds refuge here in this little corner of paradise. Far from the rest of the world, Maria is finishing up her latest book, the work of a lifetime. Thanks to her friends, the healers, this collection of medicinal recipes will see the light of day. The memories of the elders will soon be recorded and made available to future generations in the 3 languages used in these islands. As for her collection, Maria tirelessly sorts and classes each plant in a herbarium intended for her university in Portugal, with the hope that one of them contains the secrets of a new treatment.
The discovery is continuing. So far, we've managed to identify 350 plant species used in traditional medicine here. And every time I go off on an ethno-pharmacological expedition, I discover 1, 2, 3, 5 new species. I think there's a lot to discover and study. It's wonderful.